Hello viewers, welcome to the second section of the video. As we did with the fruit, I'll be giving you tips and tricks on how to save the food in general, the vegetables and the rest. So let me start quickly with the first one. That's tomatoes. If you want to save your tomatoes for a long period of time, there's a way of going about it. Now you get a container like this and cover the interior portion of it with a tissue, like this tissue, and then you fill it with your tomatoes like this, and then you place it in the refrigerator, or you can keep it on a shelf. Make sure that there's a tissue to help absorb any moisture around it, and that will be okay for you. So that is for tomatoes. If you want to save your tomatoes, this is how to go about it. Don't cover it, open it up, and it will last long for you. Okay, the next same thing applies to pepper. You cover the entire portion of the container with a tissue first, and then the pepper comes in. So by doing so, it will also serve you good. You can keep it in the refrigerator, or you can just keep it on the shelf. The next thing is I want to talk about the green leaf vegetables. Now here is cabbage that we all know. If you want to save your cabbage, there's a way of doing it. So you see, here is the cabbage. As you can see, I've covered the cabbage with a tissue. When you do this, the tissue will help absorb moisture. Remember, moisture speed up the perishing state of the cabbage or fruits and vegetables in general. So like this, place it in an airtight plastic sheet, cover it well, and you're good to go. The next is the other green leaf vegetables. We have the taro leaves, which we call it contemporary in Ghana here, or cocoyam leaves. So the same applies. It also goes with the other green leaf vegetables, like this is lettuce. So cover it in an airtight container. If you have the dandelion leaves, you can do the same thing to it, and you'll be safe. Those outside, you have kale, use it. Amaranth, the same applies. Okay, now let me go to the next one, the bill, garden eggs. Unlike tomatoes, garden eggs needs to be covered, placed in an airtight container, and it will last long. The next thing to talk about is let's talk about the root system. Yeah. Well, generally, what I see people doing is if they want to keep the cassava for a long period of time, what they do is they remove the coating around it, and then they chop it into pieces and then place it in the refrigerator. But from advice, you see, for the refrigerator to work very well, this is how it works. It pulls moisture from any source that it can get, and if you peel off the coating around the cassava, the moisture, the refrigerator will start pulling the moisture directly from the food inside, and that will devalue the taste and the quality of the food. So therefore, make sure the covering is still on it. What you can do is, probably if it's huge, you can chop in pieces, place it in a plastic sheet, make sure it's airtight, and then you place it in the refrigerator. That will last you long. Another way of doing this is, if you want the natural taste of this, one thing you can do is you can dig a small trench, keep it on the ground, and cover it with the natural egg. This can last you for weeks. But if you want it to go beyond weeks, then the best thing to do is place it in a plastic sheet and put at the deep freezer side of the refrigerator. You'll be good to go. Now, another root system, potatoes, yams. You keep it on the shelves. Make sure the environment is very dry, and make sure that the shelf is high enough. And don't place your root system, like the potatoes, yams, and the rest. Don't place them directly on the ground. That's a big mistake. You know, it will just perish within a short time. So place it on the shelf on a higher altitude, wherever you can get that will help prevent it from easy damage. Do it. Place it on the shelf. The same applies to the beetroot. Make sure the environment is devoid of moisture. Make sure that the environment is devoid of moisture, and you can keep it on a tray, and it will last you long. and the place should be dried and airy. Airy, I repeat, it should be airy. Good. Okay, now what do we have next? Let me talk about this green leaf. Some call it scallion, others to call it spring onion. Now, if you want it to last long, this is the technical period. This thing has been stored in the refrigerator for more than 3 weeks, but yet still it is still strong and firm. So what you do is you keep the scallion or the spring onion in a container filled with water. Make sure the roots are in the water, and you place it directly into the refrigerator. Another thing that you can do is just cover it with a plastic sheet around this side, and then just leave the roots in the water, and then it will last you a long time. Good. Now let me talk about plantain. Now, as I explained in the other video, how to store banana, for a long period of time, the same applies here. You see the part attached to the branch. Make sure you cover it with a plastic sheet, because that's where the perishing starts taking place. When you do this and then you place it, make sure the coating is still on it, because when you remove it, the refrigerator will start absorbing the nutrient from it, and you will not have that rich taste of your plantain. So cover it, make sure the cover is still on it, place it in an airtight bag, then you place it in the refrigerator. You're good to go. Nuts. We have nuts. Here is almond, here is pumpkin seed, and the rest, seeds and nuts and the rest. If you want to keep it in a jar or a plastic bottle, and make sure it's airtight, and then keep it safe. Another thing you can do is you can even pour it in a plastic sheet and then place it in the bottle and then cover it. You're good to go. For ginger, this is how to go about it. Make sure your ginger is also in a container or in a plastic sheet like this, because when you leave it, naturally the moisture within it will vaporize, and then it will dry easily, and you lose the value of it. So cover it with a plastic sheet like this, and it can last you for months. Good. So what about fish, meat, and the rest? Make sure, because they have a very strong scent and smell, you need to cover it with several amount of plastic sheets, a lot of it, and then you place it in the deep freezer side. Egg too, if you want to save your egg, it should be in the crates in a very dry, cool environment, devoid of moisture. Your egg will be well saved for you. What about the last one that I want to talk about is how to save maize. Some to call it corn. How to save maize for a long period of time. How do you do it? You create a paper funnel like this and get yourself a gallon. In Ghana here we call this kufo gallon. So what do? Get a big gallon like this, and then you just pour your maize directly into the container, and make sure when it's filled to the brim, you cover it with the lid, and make sure it is airtight. And with this, you can keep it for a long time, even when there are pests inside, because it's airtight and it is closed. The insects or the pests inside will suffocate and die. By this, you can save your maize for a couple of years, and you are good to go. The last tip that I want to give you guys is this. When you prepare stews like cabbage stew, okra stew, and Granola soup, these can easily go bad. Sometimes you might even place it in the refrigerator, but if you don't place it in the right place, for about days, the moment you open it, it has gone bad, even though it's in the refrigerator. So what do? With stew like okra, cabbage, Granola soup, the best thing to do is to keep it at the deep freezer side. Make sure you put it at the deep freezer side. Don't just place it inside a normal refrigerator. It will go bad easily. So do this, and then you save yourself a lot of money. And this is Crefoni for you once again. I think you have learned something today, and I'm also happy to share with you. Remember, the channel is Saving Your Pocket with Crefoni. Have a nice day. Bye.